and you hear the same stories. And I think sometimes getting to hear different stories from people who are in practice and dealing with life and practice and patients and staff, it's so important because it reminds us all that we're all juggling a lot of hats, right?
Yes, we are. Absolutely. I wanted to start off by saying you are so amazing at this, and I really appreciate you doing this every week. It's a commitment for you, and we appreciate you taking your time. And you're so good at it. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't make me blush because I'm not good at that kind of stuff. So we're just going to glance right over that. Thank you. And back to you. So when it comes to juggling hats, look, I know that you are juggling hats right now, right? You got a big life change happening.
Yeah, a lot of life changes right now. My youngest just went off to college. So, I mean, it's wonderful. It's, we raise them to be self-sufficient, and then we send them out on their own. And, those heartstrings are stretching and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I have great confidence in him. He's an amazing person, and I know he's going to do great out there. So I'm really happy for him. And actually my oldest, who's been living with me for a little bit, she's been working. She's a teacher. Just kind of saving up some money. She's going out on her own. So my nest is really, truly going to be empty. So it's a big change, but it's all wonderful things. So I'm so thankful, very blessed. It's a neat season right now.
The changes in life are interesting. And I had patients take their children to school this week, and I had somebody take her son to GCSU, Georgia College State University. Yeah. And we were talking about it right as she was leaving. I said, did you ever see that cartoon? It's a little drawing of the first day of kindergarten where the bus is there and the kid's clinging on to the mom crying. And then the first day of college where the car is there and the mom's clinging on to the kids. And as soon as I said it, we just both started crying because that realization, you're never ready for these moments. No. But yet you are, because they didn't happen overnight. You got there slowly, but it always seems like they got there too fast.
I know. We were just talking about that the other day. Like the days seem like they last forever. Sometimes there's such long days, especially raising kids and starting practices and just living life. But the years fly by. It's like, boom, all of a sudden they're in 5th grade, then they're in high school, and then now they're off and doing their own thing. It's amazing, but somehow we don't get any older. It's just kind of a blessing. but
not a gray in sight, right?
Yeah, no, not one at all.
Not one. As a matter of fact, I took my son for his haircut yesterday, and the barber called me up. He's like, Mom, look at this. My son had a gray hair. So we pull it out, and then all of a sudden he's like, Mom, there's another one. We pull. I said, what's going on here? He just turned 15, and we're going to get his permit this week. We've just been waiting because football messed up our schedule of when we were supposed to go. But even that, right, that manhood, that adulthood, that taking him to get a permit.
Right.
A month ago, I kept saying, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. The reality is I've been getting ready for the last 15 years with your children. You've been getting ready your whole life. You've been preparing to, you start off by saying one of the things we do is we raise kids to be independent, to let them go and fly on their own, which is scary and hard and rewarding and all at the same time.
It really is, and as much as it's a growth process for them, it's been such a growth process for me, just trusting. It's been such a faith builder. We know that God's in control of them and he can protect them in a way that we can't, so just constantly laying them at his feet and not picking them up again. And just, doing that over and over the course of the last 18 years has really formed a habit and a trust. And now they're out of my house. So I have to trust that they have a good foundation. They have good heads. They've been adjusted from birth, just like your kids. So that they make the best decisions that they can make with a clear nervous system, and their brains are working. So they're just really cool kids. I'm really excited for what the next season has for all of them.
I think that's a big part of it. I've always said that chiropractic kids are going to be the ones that will potentially rule the world in a positive way, right? We have the advantage of these children having been adjusted since birth, minimum exposure to toxic chemicals and toxic thoughts, and right. And so if you think about where they are on the scale of, leadership qualities and intelligence and health, they are going to supersede the people around them who have been dumbed down, numbed down, and just, bombarded with all these chemicals. And I think about that all the time with our kids and try to remind them that all the work that was put into raising them healthy, don't throw it away and go to McDonald's with your friends and eat junk food every single day. Like it's a privilege or it's a treat to do it once in a blue moon now that you're old enough to make that choice. But don't fill your body with that garbage and don't fill your mind with that garbage, because everything we've done for our children and our patients is to put them ahead, to give them a better chance at health and happiness and longevity.
Right. You're so right. Sometimes I'll tell them that. I'll be like, like how much effort I took in raising you so that you'd be healthy and safe, and, don't make dumb decisions. Like, don't eat that crap or whatever that situation is. But I do find that, and you probably have seen it too in practice, kids that are getting adjusted from birth, they're just so much different. They're so much more vital. They're more alive. They're more magnetic, and people are drawn to them. I notice, like with my kids, they're all different personalities. I have 3 altogether. They're all different personalities. Some are quiet, one is quiet, one is like, blah. The other one is kind of in between in whatever situation she's in. So, but they draw people to them, and people wonder, like, why are your kids different? And my daughter's actually a teacher, and she'll say, Mom, I see these 5th graders and they're like lukewarm. Like, where's the fire? Where's the energy? Where's the vitality in them? Because she's used to being around like us, and chiropractic kids are just different. So, it's sad to see, but it's also great to know that we can put these cool people out there in the world and like you said, hopefully make a difference.
I tend to look at it for the next generation too, right? I was not fortunate enough to be raised in a chiropractic household. I love my parents. My parents did a great, phenomenal job. But I wasn't exposed to chiropractic until I was 19 years old and in a car accident. But I've been adjusted ever since.
Right.
And I think about that, and I think about the chiropractors that we know who are second generation, who were adjusted from birth, who are able to, pass that improved level of health and function and performance onto their kids. And so what happens to the second generation, the third generation, the fourth generation that have been well adjusted generationally, right? So they were conceived well adjusted. They were developed in the womb well adjusted. They were born and were well adjusted. So what happens to them? And I love watching the families that come into the office who are second, third generation, right? Coming in, getting adjusted.
Oh my gosh, it's such a blessing, right? It's got to start somewhere. So luckily with us, it started with I started getting adjusted at 15. And raise our kids this way. But yeah, now, it's been almost 30 years I've been in practice, and I'm getting to see all these generations of kids. I'm taking care of the grandkids of the people that I started with, so it's like amazing.
Yeah.
And they really are. They're just different, and they see life different, and they adapt to all these crazy things, because the world has been crazy for a little bit. Might get crazy again. We don't really know, but I'm just more adaptable, more able to adjust to whatever's going on in the world, and just to be able to never really lose that foundation of good health and security and significance. That's all we can really do for them.
I love that. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I think it's so important to be reminded that what we do matters and what we do is important, and it really does impact lives. Whether we acknowledge it or see it, or we get so used to it, we need to be reminded every now and then that we make a difference. Doc, if you're watching this, or you're a student and you're watching this, everything that you do every day makes a difference. And the lives that you touch, we have no idea what happens when those people go home, but just knowing that they go home at a better version of themselves, right? At a higher frequency of vibration, that has a ripple effect. They might be a better parent. They might be a better coworker. They might be a better coach or a better teacher, or whatever it is that they do. If they go back to their life free of interference and functioning at a greater capacity, then who do they show up as, and how do they get to impact other lives?
Oh my gosh, you're so right. And it is. It's just, there's so many layers to it that we really just don't even know. You never know how far reaching something you think Sarah do today is going to affect the lives of millions tomorrow. We have no idea. We can have the blessing of watching it happen, over the decades of us caring for people, but we really don't know. Like I always tell my kids all the crazy things that I've done to raise them, not taking the drugs and taking vitamins and drinking kombucha and exercising and waking up and meditating and all these things. They're like, Mom, you're so granola. I'm not really, but encouraging your body to be its best and supporting it in these different ways. Like, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. look at me at the end of my life and go, oh yeah, that worked, or that didn't work, or whatever. But I'm just making the best decisions that I can make, and sort of empowering them and our patients to do the same.
There's that saying, when you know better, you do better.
Right, exactly. And it's constant. Like I'm always learning stuff. Like I really make it a point to every single day learn something new. So what better decision can I make tomorrow? It's important. You have to do that self-regulation every once in a while to kind of like, I got kind of lazy on this end. Maybe I need to, do better with my meditation, do better with my thoughts, do better with my exercise or my food or whatever.
Yes. Or your affirmations, or, if you haven't created a vision board anytime recently, or maybe never created one, maybe it's time to create one now, or to write out some affirmations, or to write, this is my expectation for the day. And I'm already thankful for everything that I am expecting to happen, because I'm putting it out into the universe to receive it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I love that too. That expectation of just wonderful things coming. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, Lord, use me, use me for their good and for your glory. Like, I'm here. There's another day. So like, let's just expect miracles. We have a sign in the back of our office. This is expect miracles. That's what we're doing. We don't know, a patient came in today and he said, I do so great because of Dr. Claudia, Dr. Drew taking good care of us, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't take the credit and I don't take the blame. It's your body working at its best. So we're just here to be a vehicle to allow that to happen.
I love that. And I love hearing from docs that share that message that way, right? Because you're putting the power back to the patient, and we're giving them back hope, and we're helping our community realize that their bodies are strong, their bodies are capable, their bodies are brilliant, and their bodies were designed to heal, to function, to thrive at their greatest capacity. And when we put that back to them, it's almost like giving them the magic tool that they never knew they had the possession of all along.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing too with raising our kids, letting them realize how much power they have, because it's all inside. It just needs to be developed, and it needs to be nurtured, and it needs to be recognized. Like we all have that. God placed that in us. And if he wakes you up another day, you're supposed to use that, for the good of others and for the glory of him. Kind of take your ego out of it. It's not about me. It's not what I do here. It's just, we're allowed to play with him. He uses us to be able to love and serve others.
So you're making me think of the story of that something from the bigness of the fellow within, and the magic, right? I am the magic. We have the magic within. And Dr. Chuck Ribley, who passed recently, would always, when we would start our meetings, we used to have a small meeting of the four of us, and he would start it by reminding us, I am the magic, right? And say it. We couldn't start the meeting. I am the magic. No, you're not saying it enough, right? But being reminded that we all have that something within. We all have the magic within. We all have that ability within. And we can't keep that story to ourselves. We have to empower our patients and educate them and share the truth with them, so that they can go and kind of be that beacon of light for other people.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, you probably hang out with a lot of chiropractors. I do.
I try to surround myself with not too many civilians, mostly chiropractors. Yeah.
Civilians. I love that. But you notice, like, when you get out into the world, they don't know this stuff. They're not aware that they have this power. They're not aware that they have this magnificent stuff inside them that makes them alive, that animates them. Like, isn't that sad? And if we don't tell them and we don't remind them when they come in every time, like, they may never, ever hear it from anyone. So it is a responsibility. We've got to tell them. And I find it such a joy to be able to do that. And they're, sometimes I'll ask them while they're on the table, like, what's your dream job? What would be your dream? Like, what is something that you're working towards? And a lot of times they don't know. I'm like, that's so sad. I said, well, I want you to think about it and pray about it and let me know next time, because I want to help support you in that, and just to kind of plant those seeds of like, there might be more than what I'm just barely getting by, So I think that's a big part. It's not just what we're doing on the table. It's what we're planting those seeds in them.
I just wrote that down. That will be, I'll start asking questions along that line for our patients, because even when we do events in the community, I've always trained my students and my staff, never ask somebody, do you want to? Because there's only two answers, right? Yes or no. And the brain is programmed to say no. Right. But instead to ask them, when's the last time?
Mm.
When's the last time you got adjusted? When's the last time you had your posture analyzed? When's the last time you had a scoliosis screening, right? When's the last time you checked your nervous system function? Because the when question is not a yes, no. And their brain has to automatically, without them even wanting to, it has to go back through their history and start thinking. So asking them that question, what's your dream job? That's not a yes or no answer. Their brain is going to go back through things, even if their answer is, I don't know. But if you did know, what would it be?
Right. Or think about it, you know?
I love that. I love it. You know what? Every time we do one of these calls, I always learn something that then I can apply to my day. And those of you that are watching, whether you're watching it live, you're watching the replay, I hope that you take something away every time, whether it's a story from somebody, whether it's inspiration, whether it's a question like that you can ask to your patients when they're on the table, whatever you get to take away, just know that that little bit just makes you that much better each day. So your conversation with us today has made me just that much more determined to do a better job today with my patients this afternoon. So thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's been really nice to talk to you in person.
Absolutely.
I see you everywhere, but we've never really chatted before. So
I know we're always like busy running in different directions. Like, hi, how are you? Okay, gotta run. But I know that we've got a couple great events coming up where I know I'm going to see you because you help out and you show up all the time. We greatly appreciate that. Whether you're being arms twisted and voluntold to be there or not, we greatly appreciate that. But we've got some events coming up this weekend. We are going to be down in Augusta. We've got our GCC full continuing ed. So you can get all 20 hours this weekend in Augusta. It's not too late to register. Just go to our website, georgiachiropractic.org. And we have our golf tournament coming up. I want to make sure everybody knows about that. But let me tell you, the calendar is going along the bottom. So let's go along with that. We've got Augusta this weekend. We've got Warner Robins at South Georgia in September. Now, October 7th, we're going to have a philosophy night at Life University. Thursday, October 19th, we've got our Chiro Cup, which leads right into DE weekend. So if you're coming in town for DE, plan on flying in Wednesday night so that you could be at Bridge Mill early Thursday morning to get started. And then right from the golf tournament, you can head on down to DE. So you can do both of those things in one weekend. We're making it a little bit crazy on Kat, our executive director, but we're making it really convenient for those of you that are coming into town and want to play golf with us and support a great cause. We've raised money at that golf tournament that helps get chiropractic information out to the public. That's a big thing. We want to fund subluxation research, and we want to get that information out to the public, because it's one thing for us to have these conversations and get fired up, but it's a bigger thing for our communities to understand what it is that we do and how beneficial chiropractic is for them and their families. So plan on joining us for our 6th annual Chiro Cup. You can go to chirocup.com or go to georgiachiropractic.org to register, to sponsor, or to just donate money so we can help raise money for a good cause. Other than that, we've got a couple other great events coming up throughout the rest of the year. So check our website at georgiachiropractic.org for more details, to get registered, or just to stay in touch with us. And join us back here every Wednesday as we have a different guest on here to share something to inspire or motivate you or empower you or educate you to go out and serve your community a little bit better. Sorry, I just had somebody walk in that caught me off guard. But we will see you here every Wednesday. Dr. Claudia, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure, really. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.